Today's review is actually something I started a long time ago, like March or April or something like that. Then I got really busy with a new show and didn't have the time to finish it, but hey, better late than never, right? What is up, guys? Neo here for Cardinal Lacrosse. Today we're talking about the New Balance Burn X, or 10. It's both the 10th and the X. I don't know, one or the other. Starting at the bottom, you can see that we have a completely redesigned Soleplate. Materials-wise, it's just your standard dual density TPU outsole. You can tell because the studs are very flat and angular, this helps with pushing off and is really great for straight line speed. In fact, in New Balance's promotional materials, they specifically state that these were designed for the player with downhill speed. That sounds really great and everything, but the problem that I have is that there's no wide receivers on this field. There's no Gareth Bale type soccer players who just use their speed to push the ball around and beat everyone to it. Lacrosse is one of those sports where even those players who have flat out 0 to 60 speed are still relying on dodging and cutting to gain that 3 inches that then they can turn into half a foot and get a shot off. While I understand what they're going for with this Soleplate, it just doesn't seem as practical as you might think. Moving up from the Soleplate, you can see that once again, there is no midsole on this cleat. As I've said plenty of times before, it's not a huge deal in lacrosse because most of the time you're playing on grass, but as more and more teams are beginning to play on turf, and especially as more and more teams are beginning to play summer tournaments where they're playing maybe 3 or 4 games in one weekend, the fact that there's no midsole is going to be kind of a disappointment to those people who are going to start to feel fatigue in their legs fast. One thing New Balance did to counteract that, though, was to provide you with a really nice foam insert. I'm pretty positive that this insert is a fresh foam, which is New Balance's top of the line cushioning material, but the only thing that it says is data-driven platform. That's the only information on any of their websites, any of their promotional materials, and it's even printed right here on the insole itself. It is a great insert though, and should go a long way in reducing the fatigue that you might feel by playing on harder surfaces and or multiple games throughout a weekend. Moving up from the sole, we move on to the upper, something that New Balance is calling Phantom Fit. What is Phantom Fit? I don't know. I literally cannot find any information about it. I'll even show you. Look, I went to New Balance's website and looked it up, and this is literally the only thing they wrote. It's one sentence. I'm quoting here. Phantom Fit construction helps reinforce foot position without adding weight. That's it. That's the whole sentence. What does that mean? From what I can tell, it's just your regular engineered mesh with a layer of fuse on top of it and backed with some other textiles underneath. While I wouldn't say that there's anything particularly top of the line about it, it does feel pretty good and it is pretty lightweight. On the medial side of the cleat, you have these things that look kind of like flywire cables from Nike. That's essentially the same thing here. They work well, they feel great. The other big addition here is the inclusion of a burrito tongue. I have to say, I thought this would feel really awkward, that it would kind of lay on one side of your foot, but because of how padded the tongue is, when you really wrench in and lock yourself in, you don't notice it at all. Finally, New Balance is saying that there's a mesh collar up top, and while that is technically true because on the outside you can see that this is an engineered mesh up top, if you look inside you can see how heavily padded it is, so it doesn't feel like a mesh collar at all. Moreover, collar is usually used to refer to cleats that don't have a separate tongue, such as the New Balance Freeze and the Nike Huarache. So I find it a little strange that New Balance chose to market this as a mesh collar, since as you can see, it does have a separate tongue, at least on one side. Now, I'm sure at this point you're probably thinking, man, he's just spent 5 minutes bashing the New Balance Burn. Obviously it's not a good cleat, I shouldn't buy it. But here's the thing, it's actually a pretty good cleat. It feels like someone actually did some decent research, made what's a fairly solid cleat, and then the marketers over at New Balance got in there and sort of fell asleep at the wheel and kind of half marketed these things that weren't maybe exactly true. They marketed it as a speed cleat, which is weird because the game doesn't really require that, but actually the Soleplate is pretty great. I never had any issues when playing in it. They sort of half marketed an engineered mesh upper that they didn't really explain, but at the end of the day, it's a fairly solid upper that feels good, it's lightweight, and it's comfortable. They advertised a burrito tongue that they called a fast wrap tongue, that maybe didn't really do anything, but at the end of the day, it was really plush and comfortable and had no lace bite whatsoever. And even better than that, now that the Freeze 2.0 is out, these things have gone down to below $100. And at that price point, it's a great cleat. I would definitely recommend this to anyone who's looking to get new cleats for the season. What do you guys think? Did New Balance nail it with the Burn 10X10? Let me know in the comment section down below, because that's all I got for you guys today, but I'm back later with more. So until then, I'm out. What is up, guys? Neil here for Cardinal Lacrosse. What is up, guys? Neil here for Cardinal Lacrosse. Today's review. What is up, guys? Neil here for Cardinal Lacrosse. Today we're talking about the new... What is up, guys? Neil here for Cardinal Lacrosse. Today we're talking about the New Balance... What is up, guys? Neil here for Cardinal Lacrosse. Today we're talking about the New Balance... You want to say Warrior Burn. While I wouldn't say that there's anything particularly top of the line about it, oh, gross.